Welcome my fellow VR nerds, this is Eyes on VR where we talk all things Oculus Quest and a little bit of other VR news too. Now today, we're eyes on Return to Castle Wolfenstein. So, Dr. Beef and his crew are at it again. They've already taken Half-Life 1, the original Doom, and imported them into VR 6 Degrees of Freedom. They've all been great ports, run really well, and now they've done Return to Castle Wolfenstein. I personally can't wait to get my teeth sunk into it, so today we're going to be looking at the gunplay, gameplay, sounds, and graphics. We're going to see what it's all about, so let's get into it. So let's talk gameplay. What makes this really great is the fact that it is exactly what you would expect it to be. When you fire up a modern day FPS on the Quest or any other VR system, you expect a certain level of movement and freedom, and this is exactly what you get from Castle Wolfenstein. You've got your 6 degrees of freedom. If you crouch in real life, it will crouch, etc, etc. You can hold a gun round a corner, you can lean round your corners, you can do everything that you would expect to do, and I think that's what makes it so great, is this game never ever was designed for this. And somehow Dr. Beef has made this happen, and I think that's truly fantastic. Now, you have all the old controls as well. You can crouch with a button, you can jump with a button, and the most fun thing is, you can kick as well. Now, when you crouch in real life, it will crouch. If you jump in real life, I'm afraid it will not jump. You will need to use the button for that. Kicking, I'm afraid, again, you'll have to use the button for that, but I can't blame anyone for that. Without full body tracking from the Quest, you're not really going to be able to do any kicking. Now, when it comes to locomotion and movement, it's all very smooth, it works exactly as you would expect it to, but as far as I've seen, I can't find a setting to change this, which is, if you're looking to the right and press forward, it will go forward and not to the right. It won't go where you're looking like it would in most VR games. And that brings us on to the gunplay. The guns handle really well. You can hold them two-handed, just like you can in any other VR FPS, but I will say it comes down to your personal preference and the immersion level that you want, how you handle these guns. You can hold them with two hands, but if you look in this footage here, I am only holding that MP40 with one hand, and it's making no difference on the recoil or the movement. Everything's very easy to shoot and easy to handle. So if you want to walk around holding it with two hands, do that. I did for most of the game because it's more immersive and it makes it feel more real. The guns are accurate as well. If you line up someone in your sights with a rifle, MP40, Thompson, etc., you will hit that target. The only criticism I have about the weapons is the pistol does not handle well. You're trying to fire off shots with this thing, and it is just an absolute pain to use. Speaking of guns, we have to talk turrets. When you get on a turret in this game, it is controlled by your sight. So you look, and the turret turns to where you're looking at. It's kind of counterintuitive after playing the whole game using the sticks and using your arms to aim, and then when you get on a turret, it's exactly where you look. But I have to admit the learning curve is pretty fast, because at the end of the day, you're going to be looking where you're aiming anyway. So it's not too bad, it just catches you by surprise when you first start. When it comes to the graphics, I mean, it's a 2002 game. But I have to admit, it still looks better, if not the same, as other games that were made in the last few years for the Oculus Quest. So I don't think anyone playing this for the first time will really have a problem with the way that it looks. If you do have a problem with the way that it looks, you think it looks a bit dated, if you look in the description when installing it, Dr. Beef has referenced a Venom mod from moddatabase.com, which improves a lot of the textures and the light. And I have to say, I did install it to see what the difference is, and it's not bad. It definitely improves the AI and character model textures. Some of the weapon textures are a bit cleaner. I think the floor and the walls, the textures are a bit crisper and sharper. Apart from that, I didn't really notice too much difference, but I definitely noticed in the lighting, it's a lot brighter after they've installed the mod, and every light seems to have a flare, which I found to be a bit jarring, but it does help you figure out where you're going if you are ever lost. Now the sound's so important to me, personally, for games, because you can have a great game that plays well, good story, good graphics, but if it sounds terrible, it really takes you out of it. But this game is definitely the opposite. It sounds good, the weapons are heavy hitting, good bass, really nice to fire. Are the weapon sounds accurate? I have no idea because I don't go around firing World War II weapons all day. But after some research, I can tell you the MP40 sound is definitely accurate to its real-life counterpart. So I would take a guess if Grey Matter Studios, the guys that made this game, put in the work to make the MP40 sound accurate, you can probably guarantee that all the other weapon sounds are accurate as well. Which is nice because back in the day, that wasn't really the case sometimes. Game studios would just use stock sound effects, and that would be about it. It's nice to see that, and I appreciate that. Now, with all those things added together, this game is an absolute joy to play. I do a whole section on the campaign and BJ Blazkowicz and everything else that goes on in the game, but it's been done. This game's almost 20 years old. I can't say anything that hasn't been said. At the end of the day, I think if you're playing it now, it's because you played it when it was originally released, and you're looking for that nostalgia, and this delivers it in spades. Bringing it into VR is all just icing on the cake.
So in summary, I think we can safely say Dr. Beef has done it again. It's another flawless port. Him and his team have really done a great job here. They've done Half-Life 1, they've done the original Doom in VR, and now they've done Return to Castle Wolfenstein. I personally can't wait to see what they do next, and if you don't have it, go grab it right now. It's on SideQuest and it is absolutely free. All the instructions for installation are in the description by Dr. Beef himself. Just follow it step by step and you will have no problems. But I will say this. You have to have a copy of Return to Castle Wolfenstein already. If you don't, I know on the Steam store it is literally a few bucks or a few pounds. For now, that's me done, and I will see you all next time.